Hello, and welcome to Lesson 9A. I can write the equation of a circle from a graph or description. First of all, we have a formal description of a circle. A circle is the set of all points in a plane that are a fixed distance, the radius, from a point called the center. So the ring itself that's created is a circle. And let's take a look at how we might get to an equation. Well, if I describe my radius as this point here, and these 2 points here, this is an x and this is a y, right? My distance here is x, my distance here is y. That makes a nice right triangle. And any right triangle can be described with the Pythagorean theorem. X squared plus y squared equals r squared. Well, that is the equation of a circle with my center at 0, 0. But let's see what happens when I move my center to a new place. Now I've got a point at h comma k, and that's my center. I know this is x, so this horizontal distance here is the same thing as x minus h, whereas my vertical distance here is the same thing as y minus k. So when I describe the relationship of this triangle with Pythagorean theorem, my equation would be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to the radius squared. Guys, if you take one thing away today, this is the big idea right here. That's my big idea. So let's see how this works in reality. So to write an equation of a circle, I first need to identify the center, and I need to identify the radius of my circle. So identifying the center, basically I'm going to look for two diameters. I'm going to see where my diameters cross. Well, my diameters cross right here. My center is at 0, comma, negative 3. So in my equation, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, I'm going to replace the h and the k with the values from the center, and I'm going to replace the r with the radius, with the square of the radius. So let's take a look at this. My radius here, if I'm just looking at this piece right here, it goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My radius equals 5. So my equation is going to be x minus, my h value is 0 squared, plus y minus, my k value is negative 3 squared, equals, my r value is 5 squared. And we're going to simplify that. X minus 0 is just x, so that's x squared plus, this becomes y plus 3 squared equals 25. And that's all you do to find the equation of a circle. So let's take a look at some examples. Now we want to write the equation of a circle centered at negative 9, 6 with a radius of 8. So that means h is negative 9, k is 6, and r is 8, and we're just going to plug it into our equation. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So we get x minus a negative 9 is going to become plus 9 squared, plus y minus 6 squared is equal to 8 squared. Well, 8 squared we could just write as 64, and that's my equation. Now let's take a look at this guy. Now we have a center at negative 7 with a radius of square root 23. So my h is 0, my k is negative 7, my r is square root of 23, so my r squared is going to be root 23 squared, which is just 23. So let's plug in. we get x minus 0 squared plus y minus negative 7 squared is equal to r squared, which is 23, or simplify, x squared plus y plus 7 squared equals 23. That would be my equation. All right, now I want to find the equation of a circle whose diameter has endpoints 1, negative 8, and 7, negative 2. Well, keep in mind that on the dead center of the diameter, any diameter, will be the midpoint. So the center will actually be the midpoint of the diameter. So if I want to find the center of a circle, I am just going to use my midpoint formula. Remember, xm comma ym is equal to x1 plus x2 over 2 comma y1 plus y2 over 2. Well, we plug in. My x values are 1 and 7, and my y values are negative 8 and negative 2. So I get 8 over 2 comma negative 10 over 2, which gets me 4 comma negative 5. So this is my center. And now if I want to find the radius is the distance between the center and either one of the endpoints of the diameter. So I'm going to use my distance formula here. D equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. And I'm going to let my center be my x1, y1. 4 comma negative 5 is going to be x1, y1. And then, I promise it's a y1. y1. And then I'm going to use one of those other 2 points. I'm kind of liking 1, negative 8. 1 comma negative 8 as my x2, y2. And so I'm going to plug in to my formula. So the square root of x2, 1 minus x1, 4 plus squared, plus y1, negative 8, or sorry, y2, negative 8. Why do my negatives always come out that way on this thing? Negative 8 minus y1, negative 5 squared, which gets me the square root of negative 3 squared plus, again, negative 3 squared, or the square root of 18. Well, the square root of 18 gets me 9 times 2, so it'd be 3 square root 2. That is my radius. So my radius squared is going to be 3 root 2 squared, or 3 squared times 2, which is, again, 18. So that's my r squared value. So now I can plug in my center, 4 comma negative 5, as my h comma k, and my r squared of 18 into my formula. So I get x minus 4 squared plus y minus the negative 5 becomes plus 5 squared equals r squared, which is 18. All right. That's the end of this video. So y'all go ahead and take a look at the MML practice. Thank you.